Hello everyone and welcome back to round 10 of the F1 2006 Championship Edition career mode. Yes, we return this weekend here for the US Grand Prix back at Indianapolis. Yes, we're still having a bit of a nightmare in this series. If you missed out on the Canadian Grand Prix that went live last week, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But I'm hoping today, Indianapolis, one of the easier tracks, I'm going to word it, of the Formula 1 calendar, of course. It's a bit difficult to kind of talk about high points so far this season. In fact, we've actually now been given yet another warning by Midland. So I'm really hoping this weekend we can kind of obviously have a bit of a breakout race, of course, but I've basically been hoping for that since the start of the season. Schumacher now with a 20-point lead over his teammate Felipe Massa at the top of the table there. Fisichella still ahead of reigning world champion Fernando Alonso. And constructors-wise, yeah, Ferrari's still clear out front, but we are down in last place here. It's only going to take a couple of points to jump both Super Aguri and Toro Rosso there, and maybe we can be a bit of hassle for Williams, Red Bull and Sauber if we string some good results together. But will the US Grand Prix be any better for us? Straight line speed in this car has not been its strong point this season. Get yourselves subscribed and let's find out. Well, I'm sure most of you will know the storied 2005 Indianapolis Grand Prix, but for those of you that have sort of never watched the Indy 500 or have not been fans of Formula 1 for very long, Indy, one of the weirder tracks that was on the F1 calendar. So, of course, basically known as I think it's the worldwide racing centre, or racing capital, isn't it? The month of May is an absolutely wild one here in Indianapolis. But, yeah, safe to say Formula 1, of course, it should have been a match made in heaven. Indianapolis, Formula 1, could have been brilliant. Wasn't in the end, and that was unfortunately due to the tyres. So I'll give you guys the quick little story. I feel like it's basically impossible to come here and not sort of give you a rundown. So, as you might have noticed from this game, we've mentioned it a couple of times before, there's actually two tyre manufacturers, which you don't get in Formula 1 now. Obviously, nowadays, it is just Pirelli that do all the tyres. Back then, it was Michelin and Bridgestone. Now, Bridgestone also, through their American counterpart Firestone, do the tyres for IndyCar. So when the Indianapolis Motor Speedway was repaved back in 2005, it was diamond cut, I believe. Michelin had no idea of this, and unfortunately when they got here with Formula 1 cars, their tyres kept exploding. And Bridgestone, of course, through Firestone, knew how bad the track was going to be for Formula 1 tyres. So they brought in some really, really hard ones for the weekend. Now, there were only 3 teams using Bridgestone tyres in 2005. Ferrari, Jordan, and Minardi, who became... they are now Toro Rosso in this game. Obviously, we are effectively Jordan, if you will, a spiritual successor. Obviously, Toro Rosso and ourselves haven't really scored points this season, so that kind of doesn't matter. Ferrari, though, absolutely have. So when the teams asked to either not run the race or make the race a lot slower, Ferrari said no. So every car that wasn't a Jordan, a Minardi, or Ferrari just never raced, pretty simply. So that's why you've probably seen that iconic shot of 6 cars on the grid. It would be Ferrari's only win that season. It was this corner that caused all the problems as well. That's a very, very abridged version of the tyre scandal of Indianapolis 2005. As I'm actually picking up a nice draft off the wall by the looks of it. But yeah, we've got a couple of laps in, a 15.6. I've got no idea sort of how competent that is. We'll run some more though, just to make sure I'm up to pace. And then obviously we will work our way from there. But story time with Matt for you, ladies and gents. It's actually quite a difficult trade-off here at Indianapolis as well when it comes to setting up the car, because obviously you've got this monstrous straight back down in towards turn 1, but you've also got to try and make sure obviously that you've got the downforce through the middle sector as well there, especially through those 2 hairpins right at the end. But yeah, we're down to a 14.5, so we're looking fairly competitive at the moment. Oi! almost finding a wall. But yeah, we're looking fairly competitive. The AI, I don't think this is quite going to be as good one that pace as Canada. but to be honest, it's kind of still irrelevant unless I just make sure I'm finishing races more reliably. I have been getting comments from a lot of you saying that it does get better. It's just obviously the Midland and the Super Aguri are terrible to drive. But we kind of got to prove to a bigger team as to why they should sign us.
Welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the United States of America. The scene of much controversy in 2005, but today we're assured of a fantastic qualifying session. Session 1, the first knockout session, is about to begin.
Over the yard of bricks we go to head out into qualifying then. And I must admit, it is a very, very odd pit lane, of course, designed to have a lot of Indy cars on it. And it's even ridiculously long for them now. I don't know how many stalls there are. Some Indianapolis guru can let me know that down in the comments below. But yeah, there is definitely enough room. I believe as well, Lewis Hamilton is the only current driver to ever win here in Formula 1. I don't believe Fernando Alonso ever actually won a race here before it came off the calendar in 2007. Although saying that, he might have won in 2006. Here we go then, first qualifying lap. Approaching speeds of over 200 miles an hour. This really was absolutely up there with Monza as a quick circuit. Oh no, went down into first gear there through turn 1 as one of the Red Bulls. That was a nice block. Oh, come on, Christian. I believe this is my teammate Albers. No, it's a Super Aguri in the way. Shows how good the graphics are. I'd give this game a fair amount of... No! I was just about to give this game some credit for its graphics, and one of the Super Aguris there refusing clearly to jump out of the way. I'm going to return the favour to, I believe it's a Williams, and get in the way of them, as we'll therefore have to try and go for another lap here.
Posts a new lap time.
Homeboy on a 1:15.6. Probably would have beaten that, to be honest. Ugh. Cannot nudge the grass on the inside of that final corner, as we've got a BMW all over my gearbox. They're going to go down the inside. Look at that. Jack Villeneuve with some ridiculous speed down in turn 1.
Yuji Ide finishes his fast lap. Not bad, but not great. He'll be reasonably happy with that.
Ugh! Why are they slowing down on the racing line? Oh, we've got two cars tripping over each other again. It's the Red Bull and the Super Aguri. Don't say the same Super Aguri is going to block me twice in these sector of corners. Move! Oh, they've just taken each other out! Well, we'll have the double overtake, like Senna at Jerez all those years ago in qualifying, but what on earth is going on here early on in Q1 as we round our way back out onto the oval? Will we be able to keep it clean and tidy up towards the finish line? You certainly hope so. Is the time gonna be? It's actually gonna be about a 1:13.8 there, so we'll go fastest. We might have one more in it. But we definitely went quicker than Heifeld, because of course he started the lap alongside me, and he certainly wasn't at the end of it. So after I beefed him about never winning here at Indianapolis, as we round our way through the final corner again, has gone to the top of the board. We are about to run out of fuel though, but we will improve now onto a 1:13.4 there. That should be enough to see us into Q2.
We'll continue in a few moments with the second knockout session, where we'll decide grid positions 16 to 11.
I've just realised I'm a complete moron. I've been hyping up Christian Klein, and I meant to be hyping up the other Christian in Christian Albers. So I hyped him up saying it was a good job there in P17. It's not. It's last on the grid, and we went 3.3 seconds clear of my teammate. Jenson Button then is currently the benchmark here if we want to make it into Q3 on a 14.0. However, there is quite a big gap. I'm not sure what DC's doing. I think we're returning the favour there from Q1. But yeah, there is a massive gap up from Button to the next car there of about 0.6 of a second, which I'm sure other drivers will feel. What is DC doing? 15 years of Formula 1 experience and he still can't drive predictably. James Allen, just telling me random stuff at the moment, but we want to try and get a good lap nailed then here in Q2. Really carrying some speed into turn 1, but you got to scroll off even more of it through the second corner. There's a lot of long flowing corners here, which are very easy to mess up on a controller. I think Heifeld there improves. Ooh, we'll do some rallycross into sector 2. That was a bit scary, but we're still on the right place.
He'll be disappointed with that. The car just didn't seem to have the same balance.
Staggers me you're allowed to run that wide out of there, but we are absolutely going to take it when I need to. Thought that would probably be a slowdown. Oh, come on, Virgin Rally. What is this? Yeah, I'm validated this lap now. We'll go again. Yeah, Jenson Button, though, still in P10 on a 114 flat. I'm hoping this lap, though, has felt pretty clean and tidy, so we might be able to push him out. It's going to be a low 13 flat there. Leaves us P6. And I believe, again, that should be enough. Well, there we go, then. It's P6 at the end of Q2, and once more another Q3 appearance here in this series. But how many times have we made it to Q3? And how many times have we scored points so far? Q3 means nothing. One lap pace on Saturday is absolutely irrelevant in F106. Let's just try and get one shot run done in Q3. Obviously, we want to try and take as much fuel as we can into the GP itself. Well, I'm feeling confident in the car, so I'm going to try and head out fairly quickly here in Q3. Make sure I haven't lost any of that muscle memory. But yeah, to be honest, again, very, very happy that we've made it into Q3. So anything higher than 10th, I think, is going to be a bonus. Right, here we go then. We're going to try and get it done in just one run here in Q3. Looks like we're not really going to face any traffic either. This is the perfect opportunity to try and go for it. Speeds in excess of 200 miles an hour as we get into turn 1. And there's an apex in there somewhere. I wouldn't know where with that kind of line, but there is. That was scary over the curbing as well. Oh, we've just all a bit untidy. We might have to go for 2 runs. Out of the final corner then, back up towards the line. It's not going to be a bad time, a 14.6 there, but there's definitely a bit more in it. A little bit earlier on the brakes down at turn 1. Just keep it a bit tidier through this first sector. The rest of the lap was pretty well hooked up. It's all about the short shift as well on this game, you know. Get the car tipped in, and then get it up a gear or 2, ready for the next bit there. As you can see already, 6/10 up through Sector 1. Felipe Massa has set the benchmark on a 1:13.5. So we make our way out onto the back straight. I mean, yeah, like I said, if we can pretty much claw even with that first lap time around the rest of the lap, I'll be very happy there as well. A little bit early on the brakes. Forward to run 2 wheels out on the grass there. Obviously, you've got the traction control. Try and keep the car in check, although it's not always perfect on this game. Ooh, another 2/10 up, but I've just got a bit wide. So I think we were 2/10 up because I carried a bit of extra speed in to the final real corner of this lap. Of course, in a Formula 1 car, this banking is nothing. Nothing at all there, but up towards the start-finish line, then get close to the wall for the extra bit of draft. It's going to be a 1:14.5. Leaves us P8 there, but I think sensibly that is all we can do without taking too much fuel out of the car ready for race day. Will we stay here?
So there we have it. From 10th to pole, the grid order looks like this. It's been an exciting and busy hour of qualifying with some interesting results. We've enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you for tomorrow's race.
Well, there we go then. It is Fernando Alonso on the pole ahead of Felipe Massa and Giancarlo Fisichella. So it is Renault-Ferrari there. Both McLarens will be on row 3. But yeah, looks like myself and Mark Webber went quite heavy on the fuel in the end. So hopefully that's going to allow us to extend our first stint a bit. But turn 1 here, boy oh boy, is that going to be scary.
Thanks for joining us. You're in for a real treat today. We're at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the home of the US Grand Prix. There is no more famous track in the United States than this. Setting the car up here can prove a real challenge due to the fact that the track is half high speed and half tight corners. Do you put more downforce on for the added grip, even though it means lower top speed, from the final corner down to turn 1? It's a real dilemma for the team's technical crew. Pretty much perfect weather conditions for racing here today, so we should see some very competitive lap times during this race. Lining up on pole is Fernando Alonso. Second on the grid is Felipe Massa. They're followed by Giancarlo Fisichella in 3rd. Michael Schumacher is next. Montoya takes 5th. Kimi Raikkonen is next to him in 6th. Rubens Barrichello starts 7th. Jarno Trulli occupies 8th on the grid.
Oh, I am nervous for this, and especially being on the outside for turn 1.
Drivers are ready for the off. And the cars embark on their formation lap.
Right, got to make sure today, what I also do is make sure I bring back up the traction control and the stability management ready for the start, because that's obviously why I span out last weekend in Montreal that gave us all that work to do.
So try keeping things tidy and on the track, and you should be able to get into the points.
Got to be the best advice he's given me. Normally he's talking out of his behind, but hasn't told me a podium today, which is good. We'll just sort of see where we're at. I have no doubt in my mind that if we were a real Formula 1 driver, I would probably have been given a penalty for how far back we are from the rest of the field. But yeah, all the tyres looking fairly warm. So you just see the wall of crowd on the outside. This game doesn't really do it at a particularly good scale. Yeah, Indianapolis is mental.
Looks good. Everything's ready to go. Good luck with the first part of the race. See you at the first pit stop.
Let's just try and keep it clean into turn one. I got no idea what my game plan is into that first corner because we could very easily get rear-ended by Jenson Button.
It seems like an age for the drivers waiting for the lights to signal the start of the race. Go, go, go!
Pretty good reactions there. Oh, someone's already gone.
Alonso gets off to a...
Oh, don't say that's my teammate. I don't know who it is, but someone's already out of the Grand Prix. We've not even made it to turn one. Must have cut the engine. Oh, as we go down the inside of a Toyota, going to get a bit of a squeeze.
Him is Massa. Next is Fisichella.
Oh, a little bit nervous, a little bit touch and go early on there as battling with Jarno Trulli through the first couple of corners. Yeah, I'd love to know who's already out of the Grand Prix, because that is, well, it's the second time this season, isn't it? We've had an engine blow up on the grid, but it also means there's going to be some oil.
Your tyres have reached a good heat, and grip level should be pretty good.
We're still in 9th place then, so it's always a good start on this game, and I haven't lost a place on lap 1, but we're only halfway through lap 1 so far, and I do want to try and get around Jarno Trulli as best as possible there, as that is rather scary. A little bit of contact with the Toyota. So easy, of course, we know, to damage your front wing on this game. So you can just see he's a little bit out of shape there around in the final couple of turns. But looks like Michael Schumacher as well lost a couple of places off the start. But I believe it's still Alonso who leads the way then, as we've got some good top-end speed here. Oh, a little bit scared about where that Toyota's going. We'll go around the outside. Look at the speed. And we're into the points we go, is on the red line. We've got some competitive speed there. That Toyota, I'm not giving up on it. Trulli and I are having a decent little squabble early on, but we are through.
The field looks like this. Alonso leads. Massa is second. Fisichella third. Montoya fourth. Michael Schumacher fifth. Barrichello is sixth. He's up from seventh. In seventh is Raikkonen. He's lost a place from his starting position. You're eighth.
Time you've achieved through sector 1.
We love it when we're featured on James Allen's grid rundown. Every single lap it would appear still on this game. But I would love for today to score a point at long last. But we'll wait and see. Let me get a run on Kimi. The Iceman? No. Might be able to get a run though out of the final corner. Got to be careful though near that grass, but yeah, the slipstream very, very potent round here. But that McLaren is a very, very different car to the Toyota. But no, it looks like we have genuinely just got some good straight line speed here out of the final turn. Slipstream working out wonderfully. Whereas Kimi, he's still behind me. We did opt for a really low drag setup this weekend, and so far it seems to be working. Super Aguru's gone by the looks of it. Second failure of the day. But what I'm quite happy with is not only are we making overtakes early on here, but we're also then able to pull away from the cars that we were fighting with. We're a little bit further back behind Rubens Barrichello this time round. Just see that speed climb there. I think we're topping out at 197, so could have potentially made the gear ratios a bit longer. Still being a bit hesitant when we're behind a car.
Alonso leads. Massa is second. Fisichella third. Montoya fourth. Michael Schumacher fifth. Barrichello is sixth. You're seventh. And Raikkonen is eighth.
Always still a little bit hesitant under the gearbox of another car. Just in case, obviously, they blow up and then break on the racing line. But yeah, we might be able to get Rubens onto lap 4. Come on then, Barrichello. He's chasing his former teammate in Michael Schumacher, but as we round our way through the banking once again, I know it's a pretty textbook move at the moment, but we've got to take him where we can. Down the inside, side by side over the line. 33 thousandths between us. We're down the inside of another one into turn 1. We have beef with Michael Schumacher. I'd love to get him.
Massa is second. Fisichella third. Montoya fourth. Michael Schumacher fifth. You're sixth. Barrichello is seventh. He's down from sixth. And Raikkonen is eighth.
You're doing well. That's the best time you've achieved through Sector 1.
Like I said, there is beef between myself and Michael Schumacher after last weekend's escapades. So I'd love to try and put a move on the 7-time champion out of the final corner. Gaining on that Ferrari, but we pretty much reached the red line. We're running 13 ones here. We're very, very competitive early on in race pace as well. Schumi, very, very early on the brakes down at the first court. No! Holy, don't brake check me. Down the inside we'll go though. Ugh! Michael Schumacher. I know I said last weekend he's an absolute menace. And my thoughts have not changed on the German at the moment. Oh, round the outside, off the hairpin. At the inside for the final proper corner. We'll just run him out. Oh! We got a car blowing up in front of us. That's Montoya out of the Grand Prix. So not only have we moved up to 5th, we've gone up to 4th place here. We're 1 spot off the podium early on. But Schumi, I'm sure, is going to come back at me as we head out onto the oval. Here he comes, Michael Schumacher. Going to sit alongside me, but look at that Ferrari straight line speed. Don't cut in front of me. He's going to cut in front of me.
Massa is second. Fisichella third. Fourth, Michael Schumacher. You're fifth. Barrichello is sixth. He's up from seventh. In seventh is Raikkonen, and Trulli is eighth.
You're fourth at the moment. Good job.
I might have returned the favour then to Michael Schumacher for cutting in on me the lap before. Oh, this is... He's not exactly the driver I thought I'd have beef with this season, but I guess that's a good thing for us. Beefing it up with a 7-time champ. But there is a long way up to Fisichella and Massa in front. This might be about consolidation for a couple of laps as we got more oil out. I'll say that's Fisichella going slowly. Is it another car? Don't know who's got issues unless it's just warning me about Montoya and his oil leak. So we've just got to be careful at the final couple of turns. Can't see it anywhere. So scary though, especially when the walls are nearby. Yeah, I'm guessing that's just for Montoya. What is Michael doing? He's no! We've got a puncture. What is Schumacher doing?
Devastated. And Heidfeld was also involved. Incredibly, there doesn't look to be any damage.
Well, I'm staggered we're still even in this race.
Request accepted. Come in on this lap.
But we've got a box at the end of the lap. Michael Schumacher.
In sectors 1 and 3. Be careful.
What on earth is that? He just runs you off the road like you're not even there, like he owns the place. I cannot believe this. We've got to limp back round to pit lane as best as possible. Try and stay out the way of other cars.
P9.
But I refuse to believe this is us down and out today. We're not going to give up yet. We've got to try and get back round to pit lane though. Come on, go car. He's a fraud, man. I tell you what, in this game, Michael Schumacher.
Alonso leads. Massa is second. Fisichella third. Fourth, Michael Schumacher. Barrichello fifth. He's moved up from sixth. Raikkonen sixth. Seventh is Button. And Trulli is eighth. That's
Well, I'm happy we're still in the running at the moment, but yeah, a puncture as well is not going to do us any favours. I didn't actually know this game had them, to be completely honest. Let's go like that. Try and make sure, obviously, that I do everything clean and tidy. What am I forgetting? We good? 9.2 is actually a pretty good stop here. So obviously now we're going to try and go to the end of the race. I mean, even if we can just get back to the points, I'd be quite happy. There's a lot of free track space in front of us. It looks like we've had another driver out. Don't know who that is off the top of my head.
Or grip. They'll soon heat up and turn green on the indicator.
But of course, yeah, it's going to mean these tyres are going to be wrecked by the end of this thing. And after, obviously, 2005, I don't think anyone wants to be on completely destroyed tyres here. Alva's into the pits then, so we're still, yeah, long way ahead of my teammate. I know obviously the front runners have got a pit, but the fact that we're barely in front of them does not fill me with a lot of confidence. Well, we've got a car heading back out then of the pit lane. I believe that is in fact Jacques Villeneuve, who's come out ahead of me, potentially. Yeah, no, it's Nico Rosberg even, so we're back into P14 then. We're not that far away still from cars that were squabbling for points, but we need to just showcase some good pace over the next few laps. Nico, I'm there! What is that by the AI? I've gone round his outside through the first part, and he's just assumed I'm not there anymore through the second, and just completely cut me off. But we have navigated Rosberg. No more cars in front by the looks of it in the pit lane. You can see Fisichella, the car that was directly in front of me before that incident with the Michael, heading through the hairpin, as we're making our way out of the final corner. Deary me. Well, we're almost back to the top 10 again then, as there's going to be the other Williams and Mark Webber heading out of the pit lane. Ooh, a little bit hesitant there, but we'll get around the outside of the Williams. Just make sure that we're clear in front. So we're not that far away still from the points. We've got a couple more cars still yet to pit. We know we're going to be on wreck tyres towards the end of this thing, but we've got to still go for it. How many times have I said that this season and things have still gone badly? So Schumacher, I believe he is in 8th place at the moment. We have got 10 laps to go and 10 seconds to close to Ralph. Well, I think the one thing I don't really know at the moment then is, has Jenson Button pit or not in this Grand Prix? Because Schumacher's down in 9th place at the moment, but we are taking bags of time out of him. But I don't know. If Button hasn't pit, then we've got a big chance. If Button has pit, we've got a much smaller chance. So we're actually trying to close in on Jarno Trulli, but we are absolutely flying at the moment. We've obviously got to be careful on the tyres towards the end of this race, but I need to get around Nick Heidfeld ASAP there, because both of those Toyotas are not that far at the road. We've just, I think, set a new lap record here at Indianapolis just by actually trying to wring the neck out of this thing at the moment. What's Heidfeld doing? I've got to dive it. Don't spin. It's horrible. When the AI kind of go for that half turn, and you kind of have to get off the brake so you don't get span out in the process. But now we've got eyes on Jarno Trulli 6 seconds up the road, but these tyres are definitely starting to wear. No! Go. That's cost us a couple of seconds, but it's not the end of the world. It is not over yet, unless Heidfeld gets past me, which it looks like he won't. Little spin there. That might be it.
Currently looks like this. Alonso leads. Massa is second. Fisichella third. Fourth, Michael Schumacher. Barrichello fifth. Raikkonen sixth. Seventh is Button. And Trulli is eighth.
Well, Massa then. Alonso even. After I said in practice how I don't think he's ever won here. Looks to try and rewrite that today, but there's still a couple of slow cars up the road. Maybe a Super Aguri, or I believe it's a Toro Rosso there, can get in the way of Jarno Trulli onto the final lap of this thing, and maybe there is still going to be a chance here. I do not want to finish inside the top 10 and not walk away with a point. Maybe someone could have a mechanical failure. Anything, please. But, I mean, this is F1 Championship Edition. It's never just going to give me anything for free. It'll always try and screw me in its best way possible there. We've got to get Ralph ASAP, because even if Jarno gets caught out behind a Super Aguri up to the finish, that could be the difference. That could be the speed that we need there. Sort of thinking shades of Silverstone, obviously. No, we weren't battling for points at all. We were the one getting lapped, but it still definitely cost the AI.
Crosses the line in first place and earns a well-deserved 10 points. Massa will hang on to finish in second.
Come on. We're closing in on Ralph, but we're going to have to really hope for something massive between Jarno and the Super Aguri. Stuck behind that Super Aguri, but now it might be a question of will he get slipstream up towards the finish line here. Ralf Schumacher's still in front of me. It might be a drag race between myself and the Toyota here. As Jenson Button, yep, definitely had pit when we thought he had, but we're going to be agonisingly close. Oh no, someone's going slowly. Who is it? No, it's the Super Aguri. Oh no, we're going to be less than a second away from the points.
All is forgiven for the problems of 2005. Indianapolis has hosted a fantastic race here today. It's been a credit to everyone involved. The fans attending the circuit today have been treated to a great race and they look very happy, a far cry from the scenes of last year. But this is exactly what F1 racing in America needed. 2 weeks from now, we'll be back in familiar F1 territory at Manicourt in the heart of rural France. I hope you'll join us then. Goodbye for now.
Well, that is absolutely heartbreaking. Less than a second away from points, despite having a puncture today. We more than had the pace here at Indianapolis. But it is Fernando Alonso who takes the win ahead of Felipe Massa. Top 4 finish exactly as they started there. Coulthard, Montoya, Sato and Clean there, all not making it to the checkered flag. So both Red Bulls actually out at the end of that GP. But it means championship-wise, Schumacher's lead at the top cut back down to 17. Fisichella and Alonso, though, both closing in on Felipe Massa there as Montoya now loses the place to Jenson Button. I don't know whether we'll get any more places, of course, because obviously we've now had a best result of 9th. Yes, we do. We jumped Luizzi and Scott Speed there, but agonisingly close to points. When will our luck change? I do believe as well, though, we should now be ahead of Toro Rosso. Yes, so we're up to 10th. We're no longer last as well in the in the Constructors' Championship, but points is definitely going to happen. Maybe it'll be next weekend at Magny-Cours. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be back very, very soon. A massive thank you to all of my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters for their continued donations to help my work. These things go much further than I think a lot of you ever realise and allow me to continue making content full-time here on YouTube. So if you want to support me from as little as £1 a month and be featured on all of these end clips, either click the join button next to the subscribe or head over to my Patreon. There's a link down in the description.